What's up, everybody? Letting that one ride a few extra measures. It is a brand new world here on the History Things podcast. I am Pat McGuire, co-host of the show. Been with you for a few years now, rolling into season 6. Tons of energy, tons of excitement, lots to look forward to, and I get to take this next part of the journey with a very good friend of mine along the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to now be graced with a voice you are familiar with, not one that is brand new to the show, one that has been on as a guest, one that's been on as a friend, one that's been on as staff on the show, behind the scenes, getting a little bit of mic time now, ascending, getting lots of mic time. Very good friend of mine for many years now. Parker Russell has jumped into the co-host seat of the History Things podcast, and we are super excited to go into this season with him at the helm alongside myself. So we're going to get started by talking to our buddy Parker about just all things Parker and history, and we'll talk about some things that are coming up this season. Mostly going to be the same show you're familiar with. Lots of great conversational, topics about history, rabbit holes to jump into, some new directions, a little further into music history, a little further into sports history. We're going to finally talk baseball, and we'll see where the winds and the waves take us, so to speak. But Parker, welcome to the show for the first time officially as the co-host, buddy. Say hey to the world out there. Woo! Parker Russell, how are you?
Hey. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for that awesome introduction. It's a little surreal. Feels great.
Dude, this is exciting, man.
I'm actually really, really excited. I had that moment where, of course, when I sat down in the chair, I knew what was going to happen today. And then, just now, it just hit me. This is it.
So on a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being I'm so nervous, can't talk, breathing into a paper bag.
Yeah.
Where are you today?
I'm not quite into the bag. I'm extremely excited about
You're not in the bag?
I'm not in the bag.
You can't be in the bag as the host of the show, by the way. We need you sober.
No.
We need you firing.
Yeah, I'm not in the bag. Not even halfway. This is my Diet Moxie.
Let me smell that real quick.
Yeah,
Let's see what's in it. That checks out. It smells like gasoline and turpentine
that is
mixed
Moxie.
together.
How
flammable is that?
Well, it came from Maine, so it's mostly wood.
You came from Maine.
Yeah, and this did too.
Is this how you survive south of the border of Maine? This
is. My parents brought this down last time. I'm so thankful that they brought this down. This is you cannot get this stuff. This is Diet Moxie. You have at your site, right?
Yeah.
You have some Moxie that showed up there.
Yeah, dude, we do sell it. It's really random.
And it's Moxie is, for those of the audience who may not know what it is, I know you have a friend. Well, I guess we both have, a friend. You have a coworker who knows this stuff and loves it. But for those south of the Maine border who don't really know what Moxie is, it is kind of this Maine soda from the state of Maine.
How would you describe it?
As in we mainline it, but I guess some people could.
As having never drank it before, describe its flavor, its texture.
Okay.
Be a Moxie sommelier.
Notes of licorice.
Mm-hmm.
And notes of turpentine, but it's actually it's very licoricey. I'm a fan. It's an acquired taste. The first time I had it,
it made me just want a Jaeger bomb. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like
21-year-old me was like Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, have you ever had it? Did you have
Have I ever had a Jaeger bomb? Hell yeah, brother.
I mean the Moxie. Did you ever have the Moxie?
No, because it reminds me the one time that I tried a sip of it from you, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I was like,
wait, I shared Moxie? Did I have a Jaeger bomb?
This reminds me of a Jaeger bomb, and nights I would rather not relive.
Yeah. It's an acquired taste, but it's actually really, really good. So I mean, hey, we're open for sponsorship, Moxie. That's all I'm saying. I'm keeping the Maine dream live south of the Mason-Dixon line for all y'all up there in the Pine Tree State.
It's true. Out of frame, you can't see this, but Parker is sitting directly beneath an Acadian flag just to show his roots to the region.
I actually am, yeah.
Oh,
You're
man.
welcome. You're welcome.
Parker, so it's exciting to have you at this point in the journey of you on the show. When we first had you on the airwaves, it was as a guest. You were our friend who wanted to tell this big story in the ship RMS Titanic. We wanted to expand it into the whole ship. Into the whole company. So the three of us wrote it into this big story, one of our best and most near and dear episodes to us. Then you caught up with us, I think the very next season, as part of the show, you were helping us initially start to book guests and do a lot of QC in our production work, and
then
things
you
like that.
kidnapped me and chained me to the desk.
And then that's where you've been
right
for
here.
3 years. And then you've been just building alongside us, with us. Now you're in the hosting chair. What are you excited about? What have you been proud of that we've worked on together? What do you?
Oh my!
Where does the dream of I want to take this somewhere? Where does it go for you?
Oh my! Well, we've had so many amazing things, and that's not just a canned response. Like the White Star line, it's canned like Moxie. We had like the White Star line is clearly a favorite. I think it's a favorite of our fans if you just look at the numbers, and I think it's a favorite of us.
Oh, for sure.
It was one of those first times when all three of us at that point were we all wrote it, and it was a really great that whole experience was great. And then honestly, I think White Star 2, the second the follow-up episode
when we focused on the cheese.
I think we learned a lot doing White Star 1, and then White Star 2 I think is my favorite of the two of those episodes for anybody who's not familiar with it.
Is that the one where we get directly into Titanic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go from like right as like the moments leading up right to the hitting of the iceberg, right to the moment where she hits the bottom. At about, I think I just read somewhere today, actually, they have an updated speed, and I want to say that they found out it's something like, was it 10 meters a second?
I don't know. Those are big episodes because I forgot that we didn't get to Titanic directly until the second.
Well, because we talk about Titanic because it's really hard to talk about the White Star Line without mentioning the Titanic for obvious reasons, right?
Sure.
But we talked about Titanic in the sense of like almost kind of glossed over it, and then in the White Star episode 2, we really take it into the actual sinking of the ship. Right. We talked about in number 1. I think we dwelt more on the dimensions, how she was built, things of that nature.
True.
And then the follow-up episode was
all right. I remember because we were like, now we're going to give you what you actually want. You want to hear the story.
Yeah, we teased you that whole 4 hours. We were just messing with your mind.
So moving on from Titanic and then moving into working on the show, were you?
So I loved being a part of the producer. I loved being behind the producer's desk. I loved reaching out to. It was really nervous reaching out to some people. That I reached out to, and I guess
like cold calling them to book them on the show.
Yeah, I talked to some great people though, and I loved the Sarah Miller episode that we did.
Oh, that one was huge amazing for us.
Sarah, if you're listening, I might be reaching out to you again.
No, 100% we'll be reaching out to you
very, very soon.
We got to talk about Mary Surratt again.
We got to talk about.
We didn't forget.
That is an unsettled score, I believe, between you and her.
I don't know that it's a score. I want to hear what has to be said. I do remember it was teased when we brought it up in the episode that I think we feel slightly differently about, you know, the memory. So I'm excited to have that conversation because, I'm all about discovery.
Yep. Yeah.
And, my journey along the way has led me to one place, and I want to, what do you got? What do you got for me? Show me the work so I can hear it.
For me, just as a spoiler alert for the episode, and I'm sure we're going to cover it then, I know you guys are on polar end of the spectrum.
Are we?
I am in the middle.
Are we?
I don't know. I'm assuming so.
I don't to be very clear.
Okay.
It's been a long time since we recorded that episode.
That was season 1, right? That was the first season.
No. That episode was. I'm
talking about Mary Surratt. Like when you talked about the
season. Oh, so both of those are a long time ago. So the Lincoln conspirators, the assassination and murder, the flight of Booth, all that. That's all season 2.
Oh, is it?
Because that's Kobe Treadway and Jana McCabe who were on the show.
Okay. Yep. Yeah,
I listened to Jana's episode recently again. It was the one that focuses on the Ford's Theater perspective of the experience. Yeah. And I said it, I think, right in the actual recording of that episode, but I felt it again years later. It's like she reads a passage of somebody witnessing the actual moments of Lincoln's death. And in real time, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so heavy. And then here I am, I'm driving the other day. And I'm here in the same spot again. And before my stupid ass says it again on the microphone, I'm feeling it in my car. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And then I'm like, wow. I'm like, yeah, dude. And I'm like, wait, that's me.
Yeah.
So no, I thought you were talking about Sarah Miller, who wrote a book about Mary Surratt.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So I believe her opinion as far as the
I think she's gentler than I am. I think that's what I remember about the interaction.
okay, yeah. Well, we'll have to find out.
I'm pretty brutal. If you haven't figured out at this point, I think Mary Surratt's
right?
guilty.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. Brief aside, if you go to Ford's Theater today, which you should, historical landmark,
For sure.
something very interesting is they have statues of all the Lincoln conspirators in the basement.
What?
Yeah, they've got a statue
Of all of them?
Yeah, they've
of all of them.
Surratt, both of them. They've got all of them. They've got Booth, which is weird. I mean, that's all. That's
statues,
all John Wilkes.
Like sculpted statues.
Yeah, I don't know what they're made out of. I didn't touch them. I didn't want to be arrested. But yeah, there's a statue of John Wilkes Booth, statue of Mary Surratt, of what's his face?
John Surratt.
John Surratt. Statues of that dude who was arrested in Germantown.
Axelrod.
Yeah, I forgot.
Not Axelrod.
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 Axl Rose was there. Slash was playing. It was beautiful. No, but they've got them all down there.
I've never heard of that.
I remember I sent you a picture from there the last time I visited. I was like, what the bleep is going on?
I love you, buddy. You send me lots of pictures. I don't remember that. And I feel like I might have blocked that one out on purpose. Because that's crazy. Why do you
That's what I said. I think I said it in a lot more expletives. I was like, why the hell do these guys, all John Wilkes Booth wanted, right?
Hey, Ford's Theater, we want to talk. We're going to reach out because I have many questions about this.
All John Wilkes Booth wanted, because he was a crazy person and a narcissist, all a megalomaniacal moron, all he really wanted was to be remembered and famous and made statues, and people are going to say that I saved the Republic. And he got it. All you have to do, I guess, is.
But wait, is it for public viewing? Like, did you get a special behind the scenes? No. So they walk you right past this?
No, I didn't have enough money to get in one of them things. I just bought regular admission. You go downstairs and they're
like, so here's Booth, the guy that killed the president.
Here he is. He got exactly what he wanted. I guess it wasn't so useless after all.
All right, so we're going to come back to that.
That's last words joke.
We'll come back.
That's a last words joke. Useless.
Okay.
Remember?
That's true. He did.
That was
that was well done. All right, so we're going to come back to this because I want to know more about the context of it. So at some point in the next, several episodes, eventually we'll bring this back up and we'll jump into it.
I'll show you the pictures. I'll show you the pictures later. It's I've got them on my phone, I'm sure.
So you've been a part of a lot of our big episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like Lincoln and his murder, the conspiracy, the flight, the trial, right alongside White Star and several others are huge. They're legacy shows for us. Like they're definitely, when we look at our all-time stat board there, those are in the top 5 type of thing. So you've been a part of some of the biggest moments of this show.
And from the field stuff.
Yeah, from the field.
That was amazing. Driving around Antietam in the back of your truck.
Yeah.
And I'm riding in the bed. Eric Money's riding behind us. And I'm in the bed of your pickup truck, and I'm like trying to hide from NPS, because you're not supposed to be.
Yeah, technically you can't ride in the back of a truck
anybody
like
from NPS is watching, I definitely wasn't riding back.
Totally wasn't.
But if I was, it was. You would forget occasionally, I think, that was back there, or you weren't forgetting that I was back there occasionally.
I would forget, and I would hit a turn, or I'd hit a
turn or a bump, and I would go up.
The one time,
up and hold. Down.
The one time,
like a cartoon character.
When we were crossing over, I think it's 34, heading up towards the final attack and all that, after having just been at the observation
on the
tower.
way to
crossing
the
main
bridge.
road. That's
on the
either
way to the bridge. Yeah.
That's 60. That might be 65.
65.
But so crossing over that, my truck hit a good bump, and I physically saw Parker pop up into the glass behind the truck.
For the record, inside his truck, he had room for all the camera equipment and the stands, but not for Parker.
Who else was in the truck?
Yeah, that's true.
That's funny.
No, that's honestly, it's funny, and that's one of my favorite memories.
Let's talk. I
love what we did last year.
So before we move forward real quick, let's actually talk from the field, because I'm actually excited about this year's From the Field. It's going to be our last Civil War focused one for a little while. We realize that inadvertently we've only done From the Field in the context of the American Civil War, and that's probably just because it's readily available all around us and we don't even think about it. So we're going to be doing one. We're going to be doing one last one on the Civil War this year. We're going to be focusing on the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth's flight from the city. And we'll talk about the trial and things. But Parker and I, along with some help, we're going to travel down along the escape route. and we're going to do that from the field. And then we're going to challenge ourselves moving forward into the future to how can we do from the field where it isn't always about the War of the Rebellion.
Let's mix it up. Let's do Harper's Ferry, John Brown's Raid.
Right. So
no, joking. I mean, well, no, maybe not. Maybe someday, but yeah, it would be great to do.
So we'll come to that. We're going to challenge. But just so you know, we got a really exciting one on the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the escape of John Wilkes Booth, and his ultimate demise down there.
And his ultimate path to becoming a statue.
Yeah, again, need some more context on that one.
Yeah.
So moving into major production roles, man, and then moving into co-host roles, like, so you've been like us, right? Excited to be a part of a bunch of big episodes. But what are we, like, moving forward, right? Sky's the limit.
Like, we started out, like, you know, like, I watched the show grow from us all sitting around a snowball microphone.
A wee little microphone in the center
closet.
of the room there.
Yeah. And, like, I remember at one point we had to stop because I made some dumb jokes. I was trying to quote John McClane from Die Hard. And you were like, no, we can't make that joke on this show. And I was like, oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah, we're a very serious show.
We're very serious, but it was a dumb joke.
We're very
nobody
serious.
could see, and we didn't have a visual component at that point. Nobody could see what I was doing anyway. But we were all gathered around this one snowball mic, and then we grew and grew and grew, and we kept growing. And we have this.
We ate the Willy Wonka
now.
Chocolate that made us do that.
yeah. What was her name? I can't remember her name, but yeah, we
Was
became.
that Veruca Salt?
That sounds right. But I mean, now we just the type of equipment we have now. We're portable. We can do live shows now. We can go out.
Are you excited to go live places?
Let's do it live.
On the spot, where do you want to go live? Where, like, if we could get an automatic yes from somebody to talk to on the show, where are we going? Who are we talking to?
Harper's Ferry.
What? That's in our backyard, bro.
I know.
All right.
Also, Gettysburg again, because there's so much to cover there.
For sure.
Fort Frederick maybe.
Oh, my goodness. For me, dude, I'd rather, like, if we're picking things we've already kind of ground we've walked over a little bit, Graveyard of the Atlantic. I'd like to go to the museum, talk to the staff directly down there.
I'm thinking local. I got to think bigger. Well, okay, Titanic Museum, Ireland.
But that's what I mean. Like, I want to go. Like, we can pack this up and we can go to Belfast.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Do it live. And if we can't do that one, at least we can go to Pigeon Forge and go to the Titanic Museum down there. I don't know if they'll let us walk through while holding this thing under our arm, going,
we'll figure it out.
Hey, everybody, this is
we'll figure it out.
But anyway, yeah, it's just watching it grow from literally just an idea to reality, and then to an augmented reality where we've got actually like state-of-the-art stuff, and we have an amazing listener base, and then like we expanded it. We did the music, we did Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald last season. I'm still on a high from that.
Yeah, that was a great experience, dude.
Yeah, that was amazing. So there's so much that I love being a part of with it.
All right, so we've done music and we've done military history on the show since the beginning, right? What is something, because you know a few of the things that we have never covered, right? Like outer space, sports, things like that. What are some things that we haven't covered yet that you either know we're already going to be doing, or something that you're like, man, I think we should be doing
You
this.
Mentioned one of them right there, space. We need to be doing, we're going back to the moon eventually here. And we need to be going to the moon to start with on our show. We need to be the first podcast on the moon. I don't know if has anybody already done that or not. Maybe
I'm sure in life, yes, there are podcasts, but in our sphere of our little humble corner of podcasting, I'm not sure of it.
I'm really excited about talking sports.
Yeah, man. So that's one that's going to be coming out soon. We have a Hall of Fame baseball writer coming on the show, a legend, an icon in my life personally, somebody that I have grown up both in literal proximity to, having the good fortune of being from the same town that he's from, and seeing him around, and then also seeing him on Baseball Tonight and ESPN for literally most of my life now. But we are going to have Hall of Famer Tim Kirkjian and his son Jeff on the show to talk about just a brief history of the game, which, how many years now? 5 seasons you've heard us threaten to do this, and we're finally going to do it. And we're going to get the conversation on baseball started with one of the most heavyweight baseball voices that you can imagine.
He's got a great podcast of his own, too.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Tim Kirkjian, you are familiar with just the GOAT status he has as a historian, as a writer, as a statistician. The dude just keeps track of things. He knows the game, and he also has a very deep appreciation for the game and its very long history and its connectivity to so many things. So I'm excited that, when the first time we come to this, overwhelmingly massive subject that is baseball, because it's global, it's historic, it's got so many rabbit holes to jump into. We're going to have a legend steer us through a solid overview to get our feet wet in the conversation of baseball. And then we're going to continue that later this season. We're going to have some other friends on to talk, about some more niche topics, jump into those rabbit holes. So I'm really pumped about that because if you know me personally, I'm a huge baseball fan. Unfortunately for me, my team does nothing but rip my heart out. Go Yankees, as many of you already know, as many of you have already hated on because you don't root for the Yankees, so you hate. Parker, we have to establish it now in what would be your episode 1. Who you root for when it comes to baseball?
Okay, I have to root for 2 teams, one by birth and one by geographic. It has to be where I am now. Has to be the Nats, Nationals.
Okay.
And by birthright, by main birthright, I need to root for the Red Sox.
Boo! I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
I need to root for the Red Sox. I know.
Oh, God.
I'm in an enemy camp.
Let me ask you a question. They're playing in the World Series. Who are you rooting for?
The 2 of them playing together in the World Series?
I'm just saying, not together, against each other.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but let's go. Who are you rooting for?
Neither one of them will both of them will somehow lose.
No, you have to answer this question legitimately. Pick a team. Who are you rooting for in the World Series? Between the Nationals and the Red Sox.
Nats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might eat my words later, but if that ever happens, I'm definitely going to everyone. If they're playing at home, I'm definitely going to that one.
All right. Well, you should probably start saving now. They're not cheap tickets.
They're not cheap tickets.
All right. So there's that. So I know you're not much of an NFL guy, but if you had to pick a team, who do you root for?
Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you care about hockey in the slightest? One of my favorite gifts that I've ever received from you in life.
I love hockey, and
one of my favorite gifts that I've ever personally received from you in life is my UMaine jersey.
Yeah. I love hockey. I love watching hockey live. I don't love hockey on TV.
All right.
If I'm going to watch hockey, I need to be there in the arena. I need to see UMaine take UMass right on the ice. I need to see the blood on the ice.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, so
you're more college than NHL hockey?
Oh, yeah.
If you had to pick an NHL team, you
I've got to go to Bears. Got to go to the Bears. Black Bears. Maine. UMaine.
Okay, but like a pro team. If you had to pick a pro team, you own Boston Bruins? Yeah. Technically, they're Bears, and they're your Boston team.
Yeah, probably them.
How does it feel as a Mainer to know that that Boston represents all of New England?
It actually sucks. We have the term masshole for a reason. We have the term. It's a real term, and we that's because just they're coming up here taking over everything, and maybe we should do a history of that term. I mean, that term's been around for a long time.
Don't tempt me with a good time. The New York sports fan in me loves to tease Boston sports fans.
Of course.
And as you know, sometimes Boston sports fans, like a lot of New York sports fans, have very thin skin. So
I worked with a guy once. This is a true story. I worked with a guy in a sporting goods store for a brief time, and this is in middle central Maine, and this guy, he was like the only New York Yankees fan in the store.
Legend.
And nice guy. But do you know, he actually came into where he got a death threat from like an actual death threat on his car.
For being a Yankee fan?
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
It was a little crazy. It was like, dude, are you serious?
Well, it says a lot about Red Sox fans.
It does, and it's a shame. It really is.
Dude, honestly, I say that like a jackass. When you dive into that rivalry, there is absolute insanity across the board. Yankees fans can go way too hard. Red Sox fans always go too hard. They don't know how to stop.
This guy, all his crime, he wasn't like walking around all the time going like, oh yeah, the Yankees are like far superior to the nothing. I mean, he just wore a hat.
Everybody thinks that's the way all Yankees fans are because of honestly Yankees fans from New York City.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that way.
Right.
If you know me personally, I
No,
have
no,
never
yeah,
once
no,
been
no,
like,
yeah.
stop talking. We have 27 World Series. Like,
You will absolutely.
my skin crawls saying that.
Yeah. I mean, you'll your teams.
But,
It's the same as I will.
So,
I mean,
real time, we are recording this just after the new year, hence that we are still in our Christmas afterglow because we don't get to dress this room up often, and it just feels good. So,
Yeah.
Parker and I decided to live in it. So, it's barely.
It took me 25 minutes to light that tree. We're going to leave it up for a month.
It is barely 2025 right now, and we are in the midst of the most insane sports experience of my life. The Giants are absolutely shitting the bed. The Yankees collapsed in the World Series. Aaron Judge dropping routine fly balls. Major leaguers forgetting fundamentals. And then they lose Juan Soto, which I'll be honest, initially, super pissed about. Super.
Yeah.
I was that day, I was very mad. Several weeks removed from it now. Is he a generational talent? Absolutely. The Mets are insanely lucky to have him. I'm glad the Yankees aren't tied to somebody for 15 years. Just kind of thinking about the A-Rod contract and things like that. It just, look, man, at a certain point, the wheels are going to come off the Juan Soto bus. And look, when it happens, it'll be the Mets' problem. And, Brian Cashman, say what you want about him, has put together a good team for next year. But as of right now, Yankees crush my heart. Giants, historically, crushing my heart. The Rangers, the f***ing New York Rangers, if you know me and you've listened to this show for 5 years, you know that they are like my favorite of all my major league teams. 2 games away from the Stanley Cup final last year. They literally had a chance to play for Lord Stanley's Cup. And this year, buddy, they've traded their captain. Their coach should be fired. Their GM should be fired. I would trade away everybody on this team except for Chris Kreider and Igor Shesterkin, mainly because I love Kreider, and we just paid Shesty a whole lot of money. But all these sons of bitches have quit, and they've quit on the ice, and you can see it in their play. So it's the most embarrassing thing in the world to root for a team that is visibly quitting.
Yeah.
Here I am.
It's not even quiet.
And I never play, I never ever in my life play that sort of Crimea River smallest violin. These are pro athletes and they make all this. I never do that. If you had a skill like they and you could command the money, you would do it too. Just shut up. But knowing that they're quitting as blatantly as they are.
Sure, yeah.
And I am an average Joe, and I am doing the average struggling grind like everybody. Like, oh my God, is it embarrassing and infuriating? And then, dude, the Knicks are the Knicks. I've been a Knicks fan for so long that it's like, even when they're good, I know they're going to disappoint me. So, like, right now, you want to talk about historic connection to sports? I am in it in a way I've never been in it before as a sports fan. And now we need to know who Parker roots for so I can either drag Parker into his own misery or maybe Parker roots for winners. We'll find out.
That usually doesn't happen.
So minus the Nationals, are you a Boston sports-based team guy then?
By birthright,
like
yeah.
Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox,
of all
Pats?
of them, of all the dare I say major league, of all the major league sports like the national stuff. If I'm going to root, it's probably going to be the one I'm going to follow the most is baseball, and that's probably going to be Nationals for me.
All right. Some preparatory questions before we get to.
And before you ask me those preparatory questions, I mean, for anyone who knows me, you know that I love the sports ball.
All right.
You know that
I'm glad you said it just like that.
You
because
know that I love now the baseball. That is the round one, right?
We got to set. Well,
that has the stick.
We got to set realistic expectations. So when we get to February, we're going to be talking baseball, and that's going to be when baseball season's getting going. When pitchers and catchers are reporting, it's when they're at their rustiest, and they're going to start knocking off that rust, taking reps. So Parker, not a sports ball fan, which I
know that there's no crying in baseball for some reason.
Correct. We're going to work on that. The great Jimmy Dugan said that, by the way. Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan. So anyway. You need to rewatch A League of Their Own. It's the best quote in the whole movie. All right, so some basics. So a batter at the plate gets how many strikes before they're out?
3.
All right. How many balls before they take a walk?
4.
4 balls. Okay.
Yeah.
A batter gets hit by a ball. What happens?
Walk.
Automatic base, right?
Yeah. Base 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Base.
Cool. All right. Let's see.
I'm not completely stupid.
All right. So an inning has how many frames?
Can you repeat the question?
An inning of baseball has how many frames?
You mean 2? Like each team? You
Yeah.
have 9. You have 9 innings in a baseball game.
Yeah.
And each one of them has 2.
Yeah. So top frame, bottom frame.
Yeah.
So you get the top of the ninth, and you get the bottom of the ninth.
Top of the top and the bottom. Yeah.
All right. Home team has a lead at the end of the top of the ninth.
Mm-hmm.
Do they play the bottom of the ninth?
No.
Correct. Okay.
Because there's no way that they can win.
Okay.
There's no way that the defenders at that point can win.
All right. Who
The
is?
visiting team.
Let's see. Who is the all-time home runs leader officially?
Can I phone a friend?
No.
Because it would be you.
Okay, phone your friend.
This is live television, folks.
Yo, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I've got a quick question for you. I'm
go ahead.
doing this podcast thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Some asshole host has asked me some stupid questions about baseball.
Oh, damn, dude.
He wants to know. Hold on. Hey.
The question you're being asked is, who is the all-time home runs leader?
Okay, who is the all-time home run? Home run? Yeah. Who is the all-time home run leader?
In baseball?
I guess so.
Oh, yeah. He did steroids, played for the San Francisco Giants.
Wait, is it McGuire?
No, but he did steroids, too, and that guy's completely unaffiliated with
I
the
know
host
who
of the
this
show.
is.
Okay.
Who is it?
You
What's
got
his
it?
name? No. What is his name?
I'm hanging up. I'm going to let you go with the host there, buddy. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
All right, so...
So my friend really didn't help me out too much.
No, he didn't? He didn't tell you
He
some
said
good...
something about alliteration.
And then what else did he tell you?
That he got jacked up on like steroids and stuff.
Yeah, did he tell you who he played for? That's what we're going to work on. It's Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds, of course. Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know who didn't do juice and probably still should have the record? Hank Aaron.
Oh, there you go. Is he the guy who like? No, that's a different guy.
Do you know who has the record for most home runs in a single season?
Wait. Is that Babe Ruth?
No. It was at one point until 1961.
I'm really a vampire, and that's the last time I. No. Most home runs in a season?
Most home runs in a single season, yes.
I actually think I should know this.
I love this. This is one of the new directions the show is going. We're going to explore sports history, and I am such a nerd, and you don't even know that yet. It's going to be great.
You're going to tell me the answer?
Yep.
And I am going to be ashamed of myself. Go ahead.
It's Barry Bonds also.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. 73 home runs. The record that he broke was Mark McGwire at 70.
So that's where Mark McGwire fits in.
Yeah, because in 1998, Mark McGwire broke Roger Maris's.
Where does Sammy Sosa come in?
That he never got the record, but he was chasing Mark McGwire the whole time.
Okay, because I remember that from '98.
But Sammy Sosa,
I remember
they all did steroids, and it kind of makes one of the most special
Did
summers.
Sosa do steroids too?
Yes.
Yeah?
Is the Pope Catholic?
Yeah.
Do you like meat?
Yeah.
Okay, is this tree red?
Well, the tree itself is actually several shades of varying colors.
I'm going to fight you. Episode
And
1, we're
there-
going to turn the steel
there's-
cage into
There's
existence right
do you
here.
have your podcasting belt?
Yeah, it's over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
All right, so I'm excited, man. You're going to learn lots.
I'm excited. I like learning things.
You're going to learn lots. So, yeah, so anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. You know, we've got a familiar voice, ascending to a regular place here on the show. You're going to hear him all the time. We have lots of stories coming at
Familiar
you.
voice.
Oh, my God. Are you doing Tweak? You doing Mr. Tweak right now?
Mr. Tweak.
Parker, if you're familiar with the TV show South Park, Parker is Mr. Tweak. He is every time you ask this man a direct question, it turns into a coffee commercial.
It's a sunny day over Carroll County, Maryland.
Right.
As the wind comes in across the plain.
What was the first thing you said on
Sweeps
the air?
the valley.
What was the first thing you said on
I
the
was
air?
born on a cold October's day in the middle of January.
What does that even mean?
It's a mystery that can only be solved with History Things coffee,
Oh my goodness.
freshly brewed.
You should get some little ground top from Bantam Roasters in Gettysburg. Matt
That was
Callery's
amazing.
show is
That was amazing. Little
some
ground
good
top.
coffee.
I've got to get that. Yep.
I'm not a big coffee guy, but it smells fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bantam Roasters, if you make just an ambiance, you don't even need to waste the coffee beans. If you have an ambiance, we'd love some little ground top here in the studio.
Have you ever tried putting coffee grounds?
Have I ever tried pudding? Only after I eat my meat.
That's great. I love that. That was good. I was not expecting that.
So there's lots of cool stuff coming up. We do
there's
have
a lot of cool things.
We got a backyard barbecue thing coming at you. We got a what's new in history thing coming at you. We got lots and lots of stuff coming at you in season 6. So we're very excited. So we thought we'd take this minute
brewed
at the beginning of 2025. Who can believe that we're already in that year? We thought we'd take this minute here real quick to just kind of spend some time with you. Say Happy New Year. We wish you the best and most triumphant of successes as we march through this slog that is year after year. We're actually really excited, and we're excited you're here with us.
It
and we
sounds
just wanted
like
to,
you could use some history brew coffee. Freshly brewed all the time.
We just wanted to introduce you to our spokesman himself. Guys, I'm really excited. Parker, I'm really excited to have you here for the journey as we move forward into the new world of the History of Things podcast. I am excited about all the new stories we're going to cover. I personally I'm looking very much forward to our baseball and outer space conversation. So if you're a bit of a space nerd, a bit of a baseball nerd especially, this is going to be a big year for you here on the show. And if not, we'll find you on a battlefield. Military history was our initial love, and we'll never leave that. So we will absolutely be somewhere in the History Things universe talking about some place that had a horrible day or days or whatever. And we'll be breaking it down, trying to help us all do the collective understanding. So for the very first time, getting out of here with my co-host, Parker Russell. Woo! I'm your co-host, Pat McGuire. This has been the History Things podcast saying we'll catch you all later. Happy New Year!